Welcome everyone.
I think
We are live now.
okay, 1 second. Once pause the live, Mohit.
My name is Reem Rady.
I think there is lot of technical issues are coming, right, from Reem Rady. Reem Ibrahim, can you let Reem Rady to know that there are issues coming from her? Okay, so we can take her in second or third term as the same sequence what we have edited, right? Okay. Sachin, you can go ahead. Start.
Okay, sir. Yeah, sure. Ma'am, we are unable to hear you clearly. Please do check your network connection. It's not really strong enough. Hello, ma'am. Reem Rady, ma'am. Hello.
Yeah, Sachin, you can go ahead. You can start the meeting. I mean, you can start your proceedings. Okay. And
Okay.
Mohit, start the recording. 1 second. Mohit, start the recording. He will start going ahead. Okay.
Recording started.
Good evening, everyone. Warm greetings to everyone present in this webinar. Today, we feel so privileged and delighted to host this student exchange program with EPSF, Egyptian Pharmaceutical Student Federation. We are indeed delighted and honored to have Ms. Reem Ibrahim, EPSF Pharmacy Education Chairperson, Ms. Reem Rady, EPSF Contact Person, and Ms. Passant El-Zanny, EPSF Student Exchange Officer, as the speakers for this program. I, Sachin G. Nair, from the 5th year Liaison Subcommittee member representing as the South Divisional Head, will be moderating this program. Before beginning this program, let me remind you of the housekeeping rules. Keep your microphones muted. If you have any questions to ask the speakers, please type it in the question and answer box. If there is time, we will try and get your queries answered. Today, we'll have 3 distinguished speakers who will speak on the educational and career infrastructure of pharma sector in Egypt. Towards the end of the 3 sessions, we will share a Google form link in the chat box. Please click on the link, fill up the feedback form, and submit it. Become a member of IPA at the following link provided on the screen. The meeting would be incomplete without giving a brief intro about IPA to our foreign guest. Indian Pharmaceutical Association, established in 1939 in Banaras Hindu University. It is the oldest premier association of pharmaceutical professionals in India. IPA operates in India through 20 state branches and more than 46 local branches. It has 5 subcommittees under it, which are industry, hospital, education, regulatory affairs, and community. IPA-SF is the leading national advocacy organization for pharmaceutical students and recent graduates, promoting improved public health through a provision of information, education, networking, and a range of publications and professional initiatives. With immense pride, let me introduce the IPA-SF Steering Committee of 2023, headed by Mr. Sainachari Ganuji as the President, Ms. Vishali Doshi as the Vice President, Mr. Kash Shah as the Secretary, Mr. Vivek Kamble as the Chairperson of Liaisons, Ms. Devyani Bhatnagar as the Chairperson of Projects, and Mr. Mohit Manchanda as the Chairperson of Public Relations. Today, the speakers will be putting light on how the pharma sector is built in their country at academic and practice levels. The speakers would be guiding us through the spectrum of growth and opportunities the country, Egypt, offers to the pharma fraternity. Conveying our heartfelt gratitude for investing their valuable time for us, let me introduce and welcome the first speaker for the session, Ms. Passant El-Zanny. She is the senior student at Horace University. Ms. Passant is currently serving as Student Exchange Officer for EPSF Egypt. Ma'am, the session is all yours. Please take over. If you're sharing, I would be stopping my screen. Ms. Passant El-Zanny, ma'am.
Yes, thank you for your presentation. Okay, so I'll be sharing my screen. So
Okay,
can you
sure
close your
thing,
screen,
yeah.
please? Please, when you can see my screen shared, can you confirm to me?
Yes, ma'am. It is
Yes,
visible.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Please start the slideshow.
Okay, thank you. So, it's Passant. Let me introduce myself. I'm Passant El-Zanny, the SEO of EPSF Egypt, and I'm a senior student at Horace University. So I'll be with you today in this part of the session and the first part of the session, talking about SAP and EPSF Egypt and some quick reasons why you can choose SAP and EPSF Egypt as your next destination. So okay, so is my sharing screen visible to you? The slideshow.
Yes, ma'am.
The slideshow.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, it's visible.
Okay. So first, this is the table of the content of this presentation. First, we will give a quick intro about SAP and EPSF Egypt. And secondly, we will talk about the requirements for SAP and EPSF Egypt. Some SAP flashbacks from the last and past hostings of EPSF Egypt, and some materials that can help you after this session. So first of all, EPSF Egypt have been a part of the winter and summer SAP for the last couple of years. We have been presenting in both winter and summer SAP, and fortunately, we're planning for the same, the upcoming mandate, 23-24 SAP mandate, and we're planning to be a part for sure of the winter SAP hosting. In EPSF, as Reem Rady will be talking about EPSF more, but in EPSF, we are having about 34 LEOs and 34 different universities in Egypt and different hosting teams. So the hosting teams are distributed all over the different cities in Egypt from north to south. Okay, so regarding the training fields, EPSF Egypt can provide you with all the STEP training fields, starting from the research, clinical pharmacy, community pharmacy, hospital pharmacy, industrial pharmacy, and sure, the visiting program. And to make it clear about the visiting program is a program where you can merge more than one training field in your SAP. So you can get 2 or 3 training fields during your SAP, dividing the 40 hours of training. As you have to complete your SAP, as you know, you have to complete your SAP and take the certificate of IPSF SAP. You have to complete the 40 hours of training. Since the beginning of EPSF Egypt and the SAP in EPSF Egypt, we have been aiming to provide all the hosted students with the highest quality pharmaceutical training that can be provided from the highest reputational international and national universities, pharmacies, industries, and hospitals, such as the British University in Egypt, BUE, Ahram Canadian University, ACU, research centers in Mansoura, Suhag, Asyut University, Zagazig University, and more of the training fields and sites that can give you as a pharmacy student the most powerful pharmaceutical experience during your SAP. So why to choose SAP and EPSF Egypt? I can give you some reasons to why to choose your next destination in EPSF Egypt. First of all, EPSF Egypt is providing all the hosted students a free accommodation through their whole SAP period. The second thing, that all the trainings and all the SAP hostings are having hosting teams. Each LEO is working with the hosting team they are the team with the LEO. So you will sure have a hosting team with you, and they will be preparing for you the social programs, which can help and support the cultural part of SEP and the cultural diversity, to know more about Egyptian culture, Egyptian cities, and more about the traditional part also of Egypt. The hospitality. So if you have heard before that the Egyptians are known for their hospitality to any foreigners or any visitors to Egypt. So the hospitality can make you feel that you're in your second home. And finally, the national weekend or the mega trip. So the national weekend or the mega trip is a trip that is assigned to be in the summer and winter SEP. Okay, according to the SEPers and according to the diversity in SEPers. So it aims to gather all the SEPers in EPSF Egypt in this trip to support the cultural exchange and the cultural diversity part. And I'll be sharing with you the last mega trip that we have made this year. It was in Pursaid City in summer 22-23 this summer. And these were some moments for the SEPers. And these are some of the feedbacks from our SEPers when they went home after finishing their SEP. So what are the requirements to get your SEP in EPSF Egypt? First of all, EPSF Egypt is having one of the highest capacities for hosting students from all the world. We have had this year the capacity for more than 100 students as a capacity for EPSF Egypt. We host students, we don't have restrictions, even the student is a graduate or still a student. We have a program for all of them. We can get students from all over the world in EPSF Egypt. Just the special requirements or the requirements that are for every SEP or every exchange to have English basic language skills for communication, to have the flexibility and the cultural acceptance, as SEP is all about cultural acceptance beside the pharmaceutical part. And the final thing is to be vaccinated, as in some touristic places, you may be requested to show your vaccination document. And here I'll be sharing with you some of the SEP flashbacks with EPSF Egypt in different cities and different hosting associations around Egypt. And finally, these are materials that can help you after the session. EPSF Egypt SEP Instagram account, you can see more about the hosting associations and cities that are presenting in the SEP hosting. And the second one is filled of booklets from the hosting associations and cities to know more about each city from the presenting cities in EPSF Egypt SEP. So you can get these links to know more about this about EPSF Egypt SEP after the session. And finally, thank you. I'm here with you for any questions, for sure.
Yeah, the session is open to questions. If any question is there, please post it on the chat box.
We can take questions at the end of that session.
Okay, sir, sure. So thank you so much, ma'am. The session was indeed really good. You really walked us through the work and effort EPSF is putting into, and we are really admiring and appreciating the work. Thank you so much, ma'am. So moving on to the next session. Next, we have next, the second session will be took over by Ms. Reem Ibrahim. So Ms. Reem is studied pharmacy at Cairo University. She is currently serving as pharmacy education chairperson of EPSF Egypt. She's also working as data analyst. So we cordially welcome Ms. Reem Ibrahim to take over the session. Ma'am, please.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
If you want me to share my screen, please.
Yeah, sure. Please go ahead.
Is my screen visible to you?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It's visible.
Okay. I think there is a lag on my laptop. Please wait a minute.
If you could please start the presentation, the slideshow, please.
Can you see the slides of presentation presenting?
No, ma'am, not yet. It's not getting into the slideshow yet.
I think might be
Okay.
there would be a technical issues. Yeah, it's no problem. We can continue without slideshow as well. Try to present without slideshow once.
Okay. Okay, I'll send it to Passant. If you can hear me, Passant, you can share my slideshow as I will continue without slideshow until you share it with him. Okay.
Yes, I'll be sharing.
Otherwise, you can share us also. We can present from your side.
Okay, I think we need to get used to the technical issues we face. Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm glad that I'm here with you today in this webinar, and I'm really excited to talk about pharmacy practice and differences in our countries and the culture and the industry as a whole. And I found the topic of pharmaceutical practice, it's really dependable about the, yeah.
Sorry for interruption. Can you stop your sharing?
Okay. I stopped. There is no sharing screen anymore. Okay, thank you, Passant. As I'm talking, I express my gratitude that I'm here with you today. My name is Reem Ibrahim, Pharmacy Education Chairperson in EPSF. Fresh graduate from Cairo University, and I had several international training in international companies like Merck and L'Oreal. And I will be here with you today to discuss more about the pharmacy practice and the scope of pharmacy practice in our country and give you more insights about. Before I'll start my session, I'd like to hear from you if you wanna write in the chat box or raise your hand. What do you think about the concept of pharmacy practice? When you hear pharmacy practice, what is coming up to your mind to get our information together? Not only in Egypt, also in your country or another country, or as a global concept. Okay, something clinical. Essential, okay. Patient care, yeah. Yeah, all of the answers were great. To educate more people, yeah, it's a huge point and make such a difference in the part of pharmacy practice. I think in our presentation, in the end of it, we'll have a slight information more about the pharmacy practice in Egypt. Okay, data collection and analysis. I think pharmacist work require a huge amount of data collection and the efficient way to analysis to make the right decision for the patient. I think this is one of the great things pharmacists could do. Next, please, Passant. Okay, we will take a closer look at pharmacy, community pharmacy in Egypt, and discuss about the transforming healthcare system and the challenges and opportunities faced by our pharmacists and the impact of technology in the industry. Next, Passant. The community pharmacy in Egypt, we have more than 10,000 community pharmacies, making one of the largest pharmacy markets in the Middle East. The industry is highly huge in Egypt and has its reputation and respect for the role of community pharmacy pharmacists do to the community. Despite the challenges we faced in community pharmacies in the part of the financials or the education or the profit margins or the difference in the drugstore or the drug industry, all of these affect our state and community pharmacies in Egypt, but we could face it with more efficient tools. I will talk about it. Next, Passant. I think the role of pharmacists in the healthcare system is very, very tricky and represent a key player in Egypt healthcare system, providing patients with information and advice and education, and also the first point of contact for patients who seeking a medical advice and display an important role to promoting public health. We all know that patients, when they face any symptoms, they would go to the community pharmacist to ask if they could prescribe them what we call over-the-counter drug. Here in Egypt, the community pharmacist has the authority to prescribe to up some limit. In some drugs, we called it OTC drugs or over-the-counter drugs. This could help patients. Especially, they gain a huge trust in the pharmacist, and if the pharmacist see that case need to refer, so it will be referred to another doctor. But I think we have in Egypt this role is a huge role in our community and contributed so well in our healthcare system. We know that community pharmacy and pharmacy in Egypt started from the pharaohs and thousands of years ago. Started with pharaohs and developed over all the years. But we didn't stop at this point. Technology is transforming the way community pharmacies operate in Egypt, from electronic prescription system to mobile health apps, and pharmacists are using technology to improve the patient care, streamline to their operations. However, there are still challenges to overcome, such a limited access to high-speed internet. I think you can see we still have a problem in our connection sometimes, and the lack of funding of technology investments in Egypt, and we are working and hoping for the next future to be more implemented. Also, I'd like to mention that EPSF worked as a huge campaign to call our doctors and our government to replace the handwritten prescription to electronic prescriptions. This would reduce a huge amount of medication errors and guarantee the process of patient safety and the process of make sure that every right patient receive the right medication. And I'd like to ask you to know more. There is in your country or depending on handwritten prescriptions or electronic prescriptions. And what do you think about 2 points?
These days, we do prefer electronic prescriptions. Handwritten prescriptions are not really accepted these days.
Okay, that's a great news. We are here facing this problem and trying to change the old mindset to a new mindset. We actually succeeded to reach our government and make the right promotion about it, and that the challenges that we could face as a pharmacists, in our pharmacies when we receive handwritten prescriptions. And this actually working. We are working on a strategy to improve it. Next, Passant, please. Okay, as we discussed before, we are facing some challenges in community pharmacy in Egypt, but there are opportunities for growth and expansion. For example, pharmacists can expand their services to include health screens and vaccination and the chronic disease management, especially this part of chronic disease management. I think one of our friends telling us in the beginning of our session that pharmacy we care about patient, we center about patient care. Yes, we use this in a different ways. We could use it to help pharmacists to better integration into healthcare system. There is insurance for third parties. We would collaborate with each other to make good impact for patients and the income also. Next, Passant. If we'd like to talk about the pharmacy study in Egypt, in the last year we have the Bachelor of Pharmacy as 5 years. Next Passant مرتين. But now PharmD in pharmacy is 5 years of study and 1 year practical year to be in field and to learn more, and postgraduate study, as we all know. Next Passant. We are pleasured and glad we have a good rank, great ranks and reputation in Africa. My university, as Cairo University, ranked as the first in Africa and also has a rank on the worldwide. Also has we Asyut University, Ain Shams University, Mansoura, Alexandria University. All of them has a huge rank in Africa and the worldwide also. Next, Passant. We give a quick brief about community pharmacy and about challenges we faced and how we could overcome it and how we could invest and the technology and other things. But also in Egypt, we have another interest in pharmacy, like the other interests I would share with you. Next, Passant. We have another institutions that pharmacists can work and do their studies or join the team of these institutions. The Liver Research Institute and Hospital. This is a specialized research center that focused on liver diseases, including hepatitis C and liver cancer. And we have a huge campaign for hepatitis C and the awareness, and this campaign lasted for 3 or 4 years, and the results were actually very good to reducing the number of patients. Next. National Center Institute. This center is leading cancer research institute in Egypt, specializing in cancer prevention and diagnosis and treatment. It conducts also a research on various types of cancer and provides treatment and support to cancer patients. Next. I think you may hear about this hospital. It's one of our best hospitals in Egypt and has a reputation worldwide. The Children's Cancer Hospital in Egypt. This is a leading pediatric cancer hospital only specialized in pediatric cancer, and also a research center in Egypt. It conducts a research in various types of pediatric cancers and provides comprehensive treatment to support the children who have cancer. And this is the things I could have. I think that would know more about it. You can search it and you can see the results they work on. As pharmacists, we could do. I think we could do very beautiful things in every field we could get into. As I see in my work as data analyst, I could put the knowledge I gained from pharmacy university, my college, into my work to have such a great thing. Next. I think this is the conclusion of the session, that community pharmacy are essential part of Egypt healthcare system and providing patients with vital medication and advice and education, while the industry faces the challenges and we are using a technology and innovation to providing a patient care streamline operation for growth and expansion. Next, Passant. I know the time of the session, I didn't want to go in more details to talk about, but this is my account on LinkedIn. You can screenshot or scan this barcode. You can reach my account. So you can contact me in any time if you have any question about pharmacy practice in Egypt, or if you want to know more about, I'll be glad to help you and give you the more insights you would hear. Thank you for your presence.
Thank you, Ms. Ibrahim. We sincerely appreciate your effort for presenting this. And we do admit the fact that pharmacy practice is also a blooming industry in India too. It is under a languid metamorphosis where the clinicians and the patient population is still trying to figure out the impact of what we clinical pharmacists can do to the patient care. So yeah, I would like to correct something what I have said before regarding the handwritten prescriptions. Only in certain parts or in certain hospitals only the practice is or accepted like these electronic prescriptions, not widely in India. So that's also something we do lack. And yeah, we admit the fact that the impact what clinical pharmacists can do is much more than what the people and the clinicians think of it right now. So now moving on to the third session. Yeah, today for the third session, we have Ms. Reem.
Sachin, 1 second.
Yes, sir.
Yes, actually, Reem Rady, because of her technical issues, I think she is unable to join. She have requested that Miss Passant would be taking over. So once take confirmation, Miss Passant from Passant, and hand over to her.
Okay, sir. Yeah. Miss
Yeah.
Passant, are you available?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. Will Miss Reem Rady will be joining us?
I guess she is still having her technical issue. She can join us right now.
Okay, will you take over? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
1 second. Sachin, you can introduce about Reem Rady.
Yeah,
Because
yes, sir.
she's a contact person. Just introduce her and you can hand over to Passant, okay?
Okay,
Who
sir.
will
Yeah,
be
sure.
taking.
So Ms. Reem Rady studied pharmacy at Ahram Canadian University. She is currently serving as EPSF, Egypt contact person. She is the next mandate elected to be Eastern Mediterranean Regional Office Secretary General. She is also a content creator in startup marketing agency. Though in her absence, Ms. Passant El-Zanny will be taking over the session. Ms. Passant, please.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so we're sorry for this technical issue. Before starting this talk, so Reem was going to give you a quick talk about EPSF and the structure of EPSF. So EPSF is the Egyptian Pharmaceutical Students Federation. It's an independent student organization representing about more than 5,000 pharmacy students around Egypt. And as I mentioned before, it's all over 34 local associations and 34 different universities around Egypt. So we as EPSF were presenting in more than 34 universities around Egypt. We work under the supervision of the Egyptian Pharmacist Syndicate and the National FIP member. And we have been as an organization lately working to involve the SDGs and the FIP goals in our plans and our visions for the next and upcoming years. And as a structure for the executive board for EPSF, We have the EPSF Media and Publications Chairperson, Ms. Mariam Shukri, and the EPSF Pharmacy Education Chairperson, Ms. Reem Ibrahim, who was talking a couple of minutes ago, EPSF Logistics and Organizing Chairperson, Ms. Ranim Nasser, EPSF Public Health Chairperson, Ms. Ale Andir, and EPSF Student Exchange Officer, the SEO, and the contact person. And we have also EPSF Training Director, and this position is responsible for the training for all the EPSFers representing in EPSF, Mr. Hamdi Fathi, EPSF Marketing Director, Mr. Ahmed Al-Tahir, EPSF Internal Relations Chairperson, Mr. Ahmed Ashraf, EPSF Treasurer, Ms. Alia Mohsen, and the EPSF Secretary General, Ms. Amira, and finally EPSF President for sure, Mr. Muhammad Chaban. So this is the structure of EPSF Executive Board, and this is a general info about EPSF and about our visions for and work for the next couple of years, and that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Passant.
I think we can take Q&A.
Yeah, the session is open to questions, please.
Yeah. I have few questions.
Yes, sir. Sure, go on.
Either Passant or Reem Ibrahim can answer it. What would be the pharmacy practice? I mean, the curriculum, how it is generally the curriculum is being there. Like, for example, a student want to pursue their career in pharmacy. So how the structure of course is being designed, or how it is being executed at your place?
Please, can you repeat your question again?
Yes, I'm asking that how is the structure of your course of pharmacy is being designed? Like, for example, in India, we have 4 years bachelor's course, 6 years integrated course. So what are the types of courses you have of pharmacy?
Okay. We have in the past 2 types of program: clinical pharmacy program and PharmD program. Clinical pharmacy and PharmD, the same program. In the years of studying, they study 5 years of bachelor, and PharmD take 1 year for practice. Additionally, if we could look to PharmD students, they will have 6 years to have their PharmD degree, and clinical pharmacy students, they will have 5 years to have a bachelor of clinical pharmacy, and the topics and the course and the educational course are slightly different. In the clinical course, in the clinical pharmacy course, there is more than 1 course or topic in the 5 years, talking more about the patients and about the clinical practice, specializing in the clinical practice. But on the other hand, in PharmD or general pharmacy, as a general course, they are talking more about general pharmacy. Also, they have the clinical part, but less specialized than clinical course. We are having 2 separated courses. If you join the clinical pharmacy course, you will graduated as clinical pharmacist in 5 years. If you join the PharmD course, you will graduated as holder for PharmD. Also, in the updates last year, I think the number of years are the same. Clinical pharmacy will be added also 1 year of practice, so they will be 6 years and 6 years until you have your certificate and graduate.
Okay. So what would be the basic difference between clinical pharmacy and PharmD? For example, let's take if clinical pharmacy student have graduated with clinical pharmacy degree. So what would be the domains he get an opportunity to work?
Their opportunities will domain in the pharmacists sorry, in the hospital pharmacist. As a hospital pharmacist, there is a department for clinical pharmacists. As I shared with you, some of institutions that have a
Yes.
special department for clinical pharmacists. They could prepare IV injections, or responsible for mixing or chemotherapy, or in the ordinary hospital they are calculating the doses and take care of the patients. They are more specific or more focused on the clinical part with patients. They
Okay.
focus with patient and the drug for the patient. And the pharmacy graduates, they also have it in a general way. Also have the informations for clinical pharmacy, but not in that detail or not in that much. If they want to reach their knowledge or make it more strong, they would take a diploma called a clinical diploma. So we'll have more opportunities in hospitals and the clinical department in hospitals.
Okay. So clinical pharmacy would be having more knowledge for the students, where the patient-centric approach. But PharmD as a general approach, right?
Not that much, but they are specified with the handling, handling patients in the hospital. Like,
Okay.
but pharmacy students, they could handle patient with patient care in community pharmacy and give it all the protocols, and it's okay. But in the hospital, in the department of hospital, clinical
Okay.
pharmacists will have a advantage, I will say, to know more. If a pharmacy student want to be more specified, they will take a diploma in that part.
Okay. So what are the scopes for PharmD to work on? Like, as clinical pharmacists are working in the hospitals, providing clinical care. So what would be
Okay.
scope of PharmD passed out at your
As
place?
all the scopes we can talk about, like industrial pharmacies in the factories, or sales or marketing, or pharmacovigilance, or community, or drug and authority. We have an institution for drug and authority in Egypt. This is changing a lot of the pharmaceutical scene in Egypt, actually. And they also can work for a governmental parties, insurance. They have, I think they have a more general floor to work. But in Egypt, we can say that industrial and sales and community, there are the major three specific parts that general pharmacist or pharmacy pharmacist will look for, other than clinical pharmacist.
Oh, great. And I have just few more questions. I think it would like
Okay.
even Passant can answer, but it's up to you. For example, if someone is aspiring to work in an industrial sector, whether it might be manufacturing or quality assurance, so what would
Yeah.
be like PharmD would be chosen, or there is any separate diploma course or any other bachelor's courses are available in Egypt?
Pharmacy will be chosen. It's okay. They're well chosen, but it will be a plus or a bonus if you have more knowledge or have a training before in the factory, or if you have more involved in the industry, as medicine or the drugs in Egypt are located in some places, some places in Egypt. So the location is a matter here, but there is no specialization, sorry, in the selection. That more you know, the more you will be accepted and welcome, and there is no that significant between pharmacy students and clinical students, except the part of hospital clinical pharmacy department.
Okay, great. And also, in like generally we see FDA, right, Food Drug Administration, which is responsible for approving certain drug approvals. Coming to India, we have CDSCO, Central Drug Standard Control Organization. So such regulatory
Yeah.
bodies do you have, which approves the drug coming into the market, which have authority to recall if something goes wrong? Standard
Okay,
Control Organization.
You are asking about the recalling the drug if there is some problem or something. What the institution that will recall the drug?
Yeah, which institution would taking care of that, providing
Health.
licensing and all?
There is two institutions, health and health authority, and there is also a drug specialized authority that's separated from health authority, can recall the drug if there is a manufacturer problem and we face any problem that patients have, or the patch have anything wrong with that. We have two mainly department can recall the drug authority and health ministry.
Okay, so now the pharmacy practice, that for example you're saying clinical pharmacy and pharmacy, so it is being regulated under healthcare department or technical department? I mean the university which are providing this course, so it is being regulated and monitored under the healthcare department, like healthcare universities or technical universities? How it is being practiced at your area?
Sorry, may I ask you to repeat your question again?
Yeah, generally in India, so the courses is being regulated by the universities. So for
Okay.
example, pharmacy course is being regulated by technical university. Technical university in the sense the courses like engineering, you know, right? Engineering, so Bachelor of Engineering. So there are certain courses in India. Along with that, the Bachelor of Pharmacy and other pharmacy related courses are being taken care by technical university. So in Egypt also there is such technical universities who's looking into pharmacy course, or healthcare universities are looking. How does this education is being taken care at Egypt? Like how is being monitored? I mean at an institution level, do you have universities separate taking care of this pharmacy or healthcare? How exactly?
I think you are asking about the authority that
Yes.
controlling the both of pharmacy or clinical.
Yes. Education of pharmacy and clinical.
They both are in the same. Most of them, they are both in the same college and under the same authority of education and Ministry of Higher Education and Ministry. That ministry that organize all things and the related of the health. There is two parts actually: Health Ministry and Higher Education Ministry. They are collaborating together and managing and providing the system and editing the system around the years. I spoke to you that this year I am fresh graduate from Cairo University with 5 years of bachelor in pharmacy, but the next generations will be 5 years of bachelor in pharmacy plus 1 year training. This syncing between health ministry and higher education ministry.
Great.
If
Health
I ask,
ministry and
if
higher
I,
education. Yeah.
yeah, if I answered your question, as I
Yes,
understand.
it's right. Thank you. Yeah, that is the need of the hour in India too. Like healthcare industry, I mean, healthcare ministry and Ministry of Higher Education is taking care of your course. Right. Thank you. And one more question. Like generally, for example, now we see pharmacies, right? The place where we dispense the medications. So, do you have any such protocol that of like, for example, in India, if a pharmacist want to dispense a medication, where they get a license from Pharmacy Council of India, so the body which
Okay.
issues or authorizes the person to issue, I mean carry forward their pharmacy practice, I mean dispensing medications or such. So do you have such institute who is providing
Yeah.
such authority? Yeah.
Yeah, we have an institute for monitoring and giving a license for a pharmacy that will open, and if there is no pharmacy open without a pharmacist, and this pharmacist will be licensed and with sorry, and the license and his license have already an expiration time, so he will after or 3 years he need to renew his license as we have in the authority that pharmacists have limited authority to prescription or giving giving an OTC drugs. This authority is regulated by health minister, and also provided about our education in the college, but there is, yeah, as you mentioned, there is a license will be given to the pharmacy itself, and the pharmacist who will be in this pharmacy and dispensing and giving the patient the right patient education and all the principles of pharmacy that WHO regulated as, I think nowadays they reached like a 10-star pharmacist or something. All these duties for pharmacy, he play a huge role in our community, especially in the part of community pharmacy.
Okay. So in India, pharmacists are not eligible to write a prescription. So is there you have a right to write a prescription? I mean, to prescribe a medication to the patients there?
Look, there is a huge difference between write a prescription or prescribe medication. Write a prescription is illegal and not authorized in our country. The only one who can write prescriptions, doctors and
Doctor.
yeah, and also the people who are specialized in their part. But we have a term of OTC drugs that we are in the limits of knowledge, and some point of cases we are authorized to give the patient the same the effective drug. Like I would say that if a patient have a cold or something that not required a huge of information of doctor, but also our organizations or the healthcare system communicating with each other. If I see a patient with a chronic disease like diabetes or hypertension, and he had a few symptoms, they may look weird, I wouldn't prescribe anything after recalling the doctor and asking if the patient has it's okay if I prescribe this for him. And the operation in Egypt worked like that. We have some point of authority. I read it that we have it in Egypt to give the patients the minimal drugs that wouldn't cause a harm. As we called it OTC drugs or over-the-counter drugs. We also could search about it more to know the science of it and the limitations and the red lines we wouldn't cross. All of these things we could do in Egypt, but we never write a prescription by our hands. It's not legal in Egypt.
Great. Thanks for answering it. Yes, you have mentioned, right? Like the people who have got some knowledge related to in-depth knowledge, they are like doctors are eligible to write the prescription, and we have to admit it. And as you mentioned, OTC medications you can dispense or prescribe to the patients on the basis of knowledge we have. Yeah, thank you. Yes, and I think Miss Reem Rady is here. If she can put her any views, it would be great. Mohit, you can make Reem Rady as co-host. So before going to make a co-host for Reem Rady, like you can make her co-host, I want to ask one more question. For example, in India, we have schedules, different kinds of schedule of medications. Let's take Western part of the world. That is, let's take America. In America, we generally see 5 schedules. So narcotics comes under one kind of schedule and others. So there are only 5 schedule of medications. The medication completely divided into 5 schedules. In India, I think there are n number of schedules. So how in Egypt the schedules have been made? Like how your medications have been diversified or segregated under schedules? So yeah, either Reem Rady can answer, anyone.
Hello? Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear.
Yes, hello again. I'm so sorry. I had a technical issue.
No problem. So yeah, my question is how many types of schedules do you have at your place of your medication. In India, there are n number of schedules, schedule A, B, C, D, E, F, G, like that. And again, sub-schedules under each schedule. But in America, we see 5 schedules. So how many schedules do you have at Egypt? Do you have such provision of schedules of medication? Hello? Reem Ibrahim or Reem Rady, anyone can answer, or Passant or Ahmed Ashraf, someone from EPSF I joined. Mohit, you can make even Ahmed Ashraf as co-host. Aditi, you can make co-host for Reem Rady and as well as Ahmed Ashraf for both of them. They are from EPSF. Hello? Are you there? Aditi?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm with you. You are asking about the alphabetical order in our pharmacy or the authorization of the drug.
Yeah, schedules. For example, narcotics comes under particular schedule of drugs where the compulsory pharmacist with license need to dispense the medication. So such segregation of medications is being practiced in India and in America, we generally say. So how it is at your place?
Okay, I'd like answer, but Reem asking to be unmuted, please.
Yes, I think I'm asking my team to make them as co-host. Just a minute. Aditi Roy and Mohit Manchanda, if you both are there, kindly make co-host for Reem Rady.
So yeah, I can speak now. Every time I speak, someone from the host makes me unmuted. So
Sorry for that. Yeah, you can carry on.
okay. So I'm sorry for the technical issue. Let me introduce myself. First, I'm Reem Rady, EPSF contact person. Yes. Can you repeat your question? Because I understand from your question that you need to know how many years of pharmacy study in Egypt. That's what I understood.
No,
Right?
my question is, see, generally in India, we see schedule of drugs. I mean, the medications, whatever we keep in our pharmacy store, is being segregated upon schedules. So if someone want to dispense that medication, they need to have some authority of, narcotics, right? So to dispense
Yes,
the narcotics, there is a provision only like the person who have license from this PCI or some regulatory body, they only can dispense or give that medication from the store. There is some provisions like that. So when we see America, there is 5 schedules. So each schedule has certain point of drugs. Like OTC comes under one schedule. So do you have such kind of schedules at your place?
Yes, as I understood from your words and from your question, in Egypt, the physician should make a sign on the prescription to allow the pharmacist to dispense the medication, especially the narcotic medications like morphine,
Okay. Okay, fine, no problem. So do you want to give any final remark? Just one more question I have. So for example, as we were discussing about student exchange at Egypt, so for example, now from India, we have few students who want to come to Egypt and explore, but they don't have International Pharmaceutical Students Federation association or affiliation. So how it could happen? Like, is there still an opportunity for students from India without IPSF, that is International Pharmaceutical Students Federation membership, they can still plan for their student exchange program? Or what are the suggestions you could give for them to go on at their individual pace? Because we IPS Students Forum are not the member association since 2017. So what would be the opportunity for them if they want to come at their individual level?
Okay, I think if Passant is here, she can reply you well, because she has much information in this than me. So Passant, if you are here.
Yes, I'm here. So unfortunately, we're working on SUP part. So these students must be a part of IPSF or IPSF SAP, and anything or any student who is not related to IPSF organization, a member organization, as a part of SAP organizations. So it must be reflected to IPSF a student exchange chairperson. There is no exchange can be implemented without the acceptance and the revision of IPSF chairperson. So that's it.
Okay, so there must be a IPSF approval before getting
Yes.
the change. Okay. So now if
Yes.
we are not a member association, right? So still there would be an opportunity with a student having IPSF membership to come over there. That is IPSF. Yeah.
Actually, I have a recommendation for you after Passant finish her replying. I will give you a recommendation.
Sure.
Can you repeat your last question?
Yeah, I'm saying that as IPA Students Forum, I mean the organization now we are representing is IPASF. So we are not the member association with IPSF since 2017. Before 2017, we have organized 61st World Congress in India. But then after since 2017, we haven't have member association relationship with IPSF. So still a student from India can aspire to get the student exchange program at Egypt at their individual level?
Unfortunately not. Unfortunately not.
Not. Okay.
Yes.
And also, Tan, I have a recommendation for you. Every year at the October month, the IPSF, the International Pharmaceutical Student Federation, releases the call for newly joined association or organizations from any country. So if you want to have like the program of the student exchange SAP
Okay.
or any programs from IPSF, you can like send an email and join with IPSF. Yes.
Yeah. Actually, we are part of IPSF till 2017. But because of certain issues, even we tried recently to get back into member relations. I mean, the member association, but still there are some technical difficulties happening. So that is what we are not getting back to member in association. Yeah, we'll try. Thanks.
Okay, I can help you in WhatsApp. We can
Sure.
I can text you with all the steps and all the recommendation if you want to join this year.
Yeah, sure. Definitely, we look forward. Yeah. So, still any other questions? If you have, Mr. Sachin or anyone, you can just ask our panel members for the next 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, we can wind it up, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Yeah. So is there any more questions? Anyone from the audience?
I think Mr. Hemad Ashraf, if you want to speak something, you can go ahead. You can unmute yourself. If possible, try to on your camera so that it would get. Yeah.
Mr. Ahmad Ashraf?
Yes, Mr. Ahmed Ashraf is the internal relations chairperson of EPSF. So he joined to just listen to the webinar and the questions and etc.
Okay, no problem. So again, coming to the questions part, I want to ask one more question.
Okay.
Yes. So how your regulatory affairs is being there? Like it is very strengthened in your area. I mean, for example, if a drug need to manufacture, so how the steps goes? Like in India, we have something called clinical trials. Mostly everywhere it would be seen. So how the process or procedure would be there? I mean, we have something phase 4 clinical trials. If a drug need to manufacture and get into the market, it takes something around 15 years if a molecule need to come into the market. So how exactly is this being practiced at Egypt?
I'd like to explain it for you, as it related to the Pharmaceutical Education Board. I think there is as I said before, we have Egyptian Drug Authority, EDA. This is the official from the government that approves the drug or the generic drugs or the vaccination or whatever the process. We have, as you know, four processes, 4 phases. Phase 1 that we apply for the clinic, the studies and the biosimilarities, and moving on to the next step that requires also paperwork from the manufacturer part and the clinical studies that are done on the drug. In our country as Egypt, we would like to go more with generics. As you know that I think that there is the same process with 4 phases. I think there is the same in all over the world too somehow, but in Egypt we would prefer the part of generics, or the part of innovations would take more time, or would take more effort to be proved and to be design. So most of the companies and industries here like to take over the part of generics or the part of manufacturing by application. When you apply for EDA or Egyptian Drug Authority, they conduct with you a meeting with the paperwork, and there is governmental steps to complete the process. After the process is completed, we can go furthermore in the manufacturing process. As I told you before, if there is something wrong, or there is any problem with the drug, we can recall it back again. But fortunately, that don't happen quite much. I think Reem Rady will add her word.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Reem, Rady, you can.
Yes, I have a comment related to the question, because the topic of the session was not about this type of pharmacy, so we can also search more on that and come back to you.
Sure, no problem. There's a eagerness to know about how the things getting over in Egypt, so that we can also follow if something is there. And also coming to this, as EPSF is a part of IPSF, right? So you comes under African Regional Office, or East Mediterranean, there would be some office for you. I mean, divisional part. How it comes?
Yeah. The regional part, EPSF Egypt, is related to Eastern Mediterranean Regional Office, EMRO.
Okay, not Afro, right?
No, not Afro.
Okay, great. So if you want to share some insights about the tourist places, like not as a student exchange program, if someone is planning to get into Egypt and spend their holidays time, so what would be the recommendations you would like to put forward for Indian students or Indian people who would be watching now or later this video? Tourist places, or if they're planning their holidays there. Yes. Or culture
so I
about
can tell
Egypt.
you, and Passant, if she has anything more to add, she can. Everyone come to Egypt to visit. The first thing is pyramids and Egyptian museums and temples in Egypt. We have also a city or a place in Egypt called Luxor and Aswan, or Luxor. It's a place, and Aswan is another place. It has many amazing monuments, temples, and touristic places. So I recommend pyramids, Cairo Tower, and Egyptian Museum, and also Luxor and Aswan cities.
Okay.
Yes.
So what is the capital city of Egypt? Is it Suez, or is it another place? Like if someone is planning to come to Egypt, they have to come to Suez?
No, not Suez. The capital of Egypt is Cairo. Cairo.
Okay. Oh yeah, Cairo. Yeah. So thank you. And anything Passant want to add on for your points?
I have been lifting the link of the Instagram account that have all the
Sure.
recommendations and the places. We have mentioned the places on the account, so they can check the account to see all the places. And we're promoting for different cities, so they can check all the cities presenting on the account to see.
Sure. And what is the official language at Egypt? Like, is it English is being understood by every member, or do you have your regional language? Because coming to India, we have more than 150 languages. So still in India, there is sometimes English would be fine to everyone, but next to that, Hindi could be understood by everyone. Again, coming to each state, each language. So again, each state, each part of the state, again, there would be 10 to 20 languages coming to tribals and everything. So there is very diversified coming to India. So how it is at Egypt? So do you have some regional language at your place, or along with that, English would be fine to understand for everyone over there?
No, in Egypt, the used language is the Arabic language.
Arabic.
About some other places, especially in Upper Egypt, maybe they have different or specific language, but they also can speak the Arabic language for sure.
Okay. So apart from Arabic, the people would understand English over there? Like if some tourists are...
Not all regions, but people in Egypt can sure understand the English. Yes.
Okay. Okay, no problem. So thank you so much for your patient answering. Yeah. Sachin, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. We really appreciate the welcoming nature of all these speakers, because without you people, the session wouldn't have been this interactive. And thank you for your effort and investing your valuable time for us. So, Saina sir, I request you to propose the vote of thanks for this session.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Sachin. So first of all, I would like to thank and appreciate Ms. Reem Rady, EPSF contact person, for such a kind gesture and taking forward our request proposal to have this student exchange program. So thank you so much, Reem Rady, for your prompt response and making it happen. And I also would like to thank Reem Ibrahim, who is EPSF Pharmacy Education Chairperson, for her patient answering and patient presentation about how the pharmacy practice and other parts of the session she have taken care. And Passant, El-Zanny, EPSF student exchange officer, who have made us to understand how an student exchange office will be there. So first of all, I would like to thank each and every member of these three members of panel, that is Reem Rady, Reem Ibrahim, and Reem Passant El-Zanny, for all the efforts you have put forth. And on the Sunday, I think now the time would be something 8:30 or something. So you have made your time to for the pharmacy students community in India. On behalf of IPS Students Forum, I would like to thank you so much for presenting all the talk and also for answering all the questions from our end. So we look forward to work with you in the near future as well. And I also would like to thank Mr. Sachin G. Nair, who is a IPSF Liaison Subcommittee member of the tenure, for his active moderation of the session. And I also would like to thank all the projects committee and public relations committee for making this session successful, and all the participants for staying till last moment. And we have got more than 142 registrations. So we have shared YouTube link with them. So they have joined in YouTube. So thank you all for participating in the YouTube as well. And the core members who have joined in Zoom as well. So thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. So for the audience, we have shared the Google form for their feedback. So please do fill it and submit it kindly. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, speakers, for your efforts. Yeah, thank you. We'll be winding up the session. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Mr. Mohit Manchanda, you can stop the live and stop the recording. Mr. Mohit, are you there?